Cinema 4D has many objects that can be found under a variety of menus. Regardless of what menu they come from, though, all objects in C4D fall into two categories: passive objects and active objects. Passive objects just sit there when you add them to the scene. They don't explode or flip around magically or move on their own. That's not to say they're not cool or important, because they are. They just need a little help to be magical. Active objects, on the other hand, do in fact do something. Either on their own or in combination with other objects, they can create amazing animation and effects, usually by taking a passive object and doing something with it. Across the top of the interface here, we've got the icon bar, and I'm going to click and hold on the cube icon here, and this is the primitive objects. Anytime you see a black triangle here, don't forget that you can click and hold on this object. Creating an object in Cinema 4D is really simple. All I do is select one of these icons and let go, and instantly a cube is added to the scene. Now, the cube is a primitive object, but a primitive object falls in the category of passive objects. I've just added this cube to the scene, and it doesn't do anything except sit there being a cube. If I hit play down here in the time bar, you can see the time is moving and nothing is happening. It's just a cube sitting there being a cube. I'm going to stop playback and rewind back to 0 by clicking on the rewind button. That is a passive object. Now, I'm going to disable the cube's active check mark here by clicking on this green checkbox and add an active object to the scene. Now, under this icon, when I click and hold, these are all of the particle system objects, and I'm going to add an emitter to the scene. And the emitter object is an active object. When I hit play, it actually does something all on its own. It's spitting particles into the scene. The emitter object is also something called a generator object, which we're going to talk about in the next chapter, but a generator object needs a child in order to produce some result. So I'm going to take the cube. First thing I'll do is stop playback. And I'm going to activate the cube again to make it visible in the scene. And I'm going to select the cube, and I'm going to change the size of it down to, say, 10 by 10 by 10. And that was under the object properties that I did that. If I take this cube and make it a child of the emitter, and then under the emitter properties, turn on show objects, it instantly shows those cubes being spit out. And when I hit play, I'm spitting cubes into the scene. And that's the power of the active objects. Active objects will take a passive object, or sometimes other active objects as well, and actually generate something with them. So active objects and passive objects aren't more important than the other. As you can see, they're really dependent on each other for creating something cool.